Hey, how's it going? Just when I thought the vinyl tags were over, Tommy over at Tommy's Vinylnaut, he goes and makes a punk one. How can I resist that? I can't. So yeah, 20 questions. Question number one. Show a new punk record from 2021. I'm going with the new 12-inch by Nasti. Life is Nasty. It's on Iron Lung Records. Great band from Washington State. You got members from Seattle and members from Olympia. Um, this is, it's stomping, angry, up tempo, hardcore punk. Not too far removed from, something like Warthog or, bands like that. But Nasty has a really prevalent, like a late period Black Flag vibe to them as well. Makes them a lot more gnarled and genuinely ugly, which I like. So, yeah, if you're into genuinely ugly music and you want to hear it played by a bunch of people from Washington State, then pick this Nasty record up. It's great. Number two, show a reissue or compilation punk record from 2021. I'm going with a reissue. It was reissued by a label called Threat from the Past. It's a Swedish band called the Bristles. Ban the Punk Shops. It was originally released as a cassette in 1983. I first became familiar with them because they were on Maximum Rock and Roll's Welcome to 1984 comp. They did the song Don't Give Up. I loved that song, but I never heard anything else by them until MP3s, came about. But I've never actually owned any of their stuff. So now I have the entire cassette on vinyl, and I couldn't be happier. It's just classic, Swedish hardcore punk. Definitely a UK 82 influence to it. Although I find that the Bristles are a little more raw than most. But yeah, awesome record. 3. Name an album you were expecting and looking forward to in 2022. I never know what's coming out from year to year. I don't know what's expected to come out in 2022. I do hope that the new Gauze release gets the vinyl treatment though, because Gauze are amazing. Everything they've done is great, classic Japanese hardcore. So yeah, I hope that gets put to vinyl. Until then, I'll continue to listen to Equalizing Distort and all their other stuff, and just hope that the new one comes to me. On the other end of the spectrum, I'd really like to see a new Radioactivity LP as well. Pretty sure they're still going. It's been a while since they released anything, so here's hoping. Number 4, show your first punk record. I have done that before, and I will do it again right now. It's a double LP comp on Cherry Red Records. Burning Ambitions, A History of Punk. Great, learner's permit introductory punk record. It's got all the who's who of bands of the day. Gatefold. You got Words. You got Pictures. But yeah, this has got everybody. Buzzcocks, The Fall, Stranglers, X-Ray Specs, The Saints, The Ruts, Killing Joke, Dead Kennedys Exploited, The Business, Blitz, GBH. Yeah, they're all on here. It's a great comp. Long story short, a guy that I rode the bus with in high school, he was into British synth pop type stuff. Like he loved Duran Duran and all that kind of shit. I had started to become interested in punk because my uncle had given me a mixtape that somehow he got. It had punkish stuff on it, like Electric Chairs and Marianne Faithfull and Television and shit like that. And yeah, and then that kid gave me this record because he had it and didn't like it, and it opened a lot of doors. And yeah, I still listen to it today. It's a great comp. Number 5, show a 7-inch punk single or EP. I'll do that. Got a punk single from 1977 from England, The Rings. I Want to Be Free, backed with Automobile. This is a great single. It's on Chiswick Records. This band had Twink in it, who was in the Pink Fairies. I think he was in Hawkwind as well, maybe. Yeah, it's just great 1977 British punk. I kind of hear a bit of a Detroit influence in here too, but I could be out of my mind. Yeah, great single though. Show a 10-inch punk record. We're going over to Cleveland for this one. Gordon Solie Motherfuckers, Powerbomb Anthems Volume 1. Amazing band. One of the best live bands I've ever seen. Seeing these guys in a basement is fucking ridiculous. It's the band's comprised of people from Nine Shocks Tear and people from that connected group of bands. Tony Erba yelling his Everlove and head off, which is exactly how I like Tony Erba. Just pissed off, just don't give a fuck hardcore punk. This one's on 625 Productions. Shout out to Max, because that guy rules. But yeah, Gordon Solie Motherfuckers, top notch. Show a punk compilation LP. This one's for you, Tommy. Finnish Spunk, Hardbeat. It's on Rockorama Records, I think from 1984. This record blew my mind when I was a teenager. It blows my mind today. Every band on here is amazing, just nasty, gritty, raw, hardcore punk. All Finnish, of course. You got like Appendix, Bastards, Turvey Cadet, Ristatit, Chaos. Like, they're all here. I've coveted this record since I was a teenager, and I covet it now. It's one of my favorite comps ever. Show a 70s punk record. All right, we're going to Toronto for this one. It's the Diodes, self-titled LP. It's on Columbia. Back at, this is from 1977. And it's like, back at this time, this was crazy. Now it just sounds more like just a kind of a well put together melodic, rock and roll kind of band. But back in the day, there was, I guess, two opposing factions of punk in Toronto's music scene. One was the street level ones where you're getting like the Vile Tones and the Ugly and whatnot, and then you had the art school ones that were kind of championed by the Diodes. Super good, great cover of Red Rubber Ball. Time Damage is a favorite for me, but yeah, fairly well known band. I'm pretty sure some of you at least have heard of them. First band from Toronto to get a major label record deal. First punk band, anyways, as far as I know. Show an 80s hardcore record. All right. You got M.I.A, Murder in a Foreign Place. Love this record. Love the drumming. Love the vocals. Love everything about it. Super good. It's from, I think it's from 84. It's on Alternative Tentacles. Band was originally from Las Vegas. I believe they moved to California. Singer died a few years back. If memory serves me correctly, he slipped on some ice and hit his head and died. I think that's how it happened. Totally sucks. Left an awesome legacy in this record, though. Show a crossover or post-punk record. I've shown this one before, too, but it's such a textbook crossover record that I have to. I mean, it's so metal, yet there's a definite, punk influence to it. It's Angkor What? When Obscenity Becomes the Norm. Awake. Band from Corpus Christi, Texas. This is on Death Records. Yeah, like I said, it's just 100% a crossover record. Members of this band went to be in a band called Screw that was kind of a, an early industrial metal kind of band. And I believe one of them actually ended up being in Nine Inch Nails. Number 11. Show your band or a friend's band's punk records. I can do both. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about my bands, but the only band that I've been in that actually did any number of records, I suppose, is Oxbaker. So we got the Raped Ox EP with our super inventive Andy Cymex ripoff. There's a split with a weird Texas band called Battle Unicron. And there's a split with Haymaker from Hamilton, Ontario. We also did a split with Sick Tired from Illinois, but I didn't know where that was. I gave a bunch out as VCLT to people, though, so whatever. Now on to a friend's band. I'm going with a guy named Chris Colahan, who I've been friends with for now 20 years or so. He was in Sect. It's the No Cure for Death on Southern Lord. He was also in like Left 4 Dead, Cursed, The Swarm, Mature Situations. Now he's doing a thing called Oxygen Tank and Sect. Sect's got there's a dude in it from Earth Crisis. There's a guy in it from Fallout Boy. A guy in it from Catharsis. So yeah, it's kind of I guess an all-star lineup. But yeah, I've been friends with Chris for a long time. Super good dude. Always got along with him. We just made plans to hook up and go record shopping sometime soon, and I hope that pans out sometime soon. Show all female or female fronted punk bands record. I'm going with an LA classic, The Bags. This is their All Bagged Up, The Collected Works, 1977 and 1980. You know, amazing early LA punk band, fronted by Alice Bagg. Yeah, I mean, probably well known enough that I don't need to explain a whole lot about them. They had a single on Danger House. If you ever get a chance, check out Alice Bagg's book, Violence Girl. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, that record's on Artifix Records, by the way. Always does really good stuff. Don't put out a lot of things, but when they do, it's great. 13. Show a punk record from your favorite punk rock record label. I have several favorite punk record labels, but I guess in this instance, I'll go for Pussmort, run by Pusshead, Brian Schroeder. Did a lot of stuff, introduced me to a lot of Japanese bands through his records and whatnot, but here's a Canadian one he did. Negative Gain, Back from the Dead. Awesome hardcore band from Toronto. Don't get nearly the credit I would expect them to get. I would think a lot more people would know them, but yeah, maybe the record's just not that available, but super good, fast, just unapologetic hardcore from like mid 80s. What's next? Show a band, self-released or DIY punk record. We're going with the 7-inch here. It's a band called Swindled. It's Who Wants Guns, backed with Hymn number 84. It's a band from Pickering, Ontario, which is a smaller city just east of Toronto. Very boisterous, just fun. It's from like 1982, I think. It's fun punk rock. Boisterous, kind of, you can tell they like to party. There was also their guitar player, Jamie Vernon. He wrote Life's a Canadian Punk, a book about Swindled. I haven't read it yet, though. But it's in the lineup. Show your most valuable punk record. I honestly don't know what my most valuable punk record is. I don't own any like original Misfits singles that could buy you a house or anything like that. I don't have like the SSD LP or any of that kind of shit. I just pulled. I have a bunch of like singles that are worth like a couple $100, $300. So I just pulled out the Eyes, TAQN, Danger House. It's fairly expensive and pretty desirable record. It's my favorite Danger House release. It's got keyboards in it. It's kind of just weird. Charlotte Caffey from the Go-Go's was in this band. Not on this recording though. Other members went on to be in Wall of Voodoo, but that's a great record. I have it as a 10-inch version too that has all their tracks on it. So Danger House record, they're always expensive. Show a record from a local punk band. Here's a really long-standing punk band from my area, from London, Ontario. 63 Monroe. It's the N.F.G 12-inch. This is a pretty expensive record too, and it's super hard to find. Is kind of a glam influenced punk rock. Some of their stuff borders on early hardcore, but this is from 1980 maybe or something. So yeah, really, really good. But yeah, that's a band local in my area. They're still going. First time I ever saw them was at a place called the Electric Banana, and I remember some guy did a stage dive off a table and basically did like a fucking missing link flying headbutt right into my face and broke my nose all over the place. And yeah, I just went home and said, that sucked. Okay, show a record from a punk band with a fun name. Oh, the Circle Jerks. What's more fun than a circle jerk? Oh, group sex. Yeah, that's more fun than a circle jerk. So yeah, Frontier Records. Classic, California punk band. Needs no introduction. Supposed to be going to see them, I think in March or something, but who knows? Restrictions. Show a record you bought from the punk gig. All right. I bought Exiled by Bad Breeding when I saw them before the pandemic. This one's also on Iron Lung. British band, very on the anarcho-punk side of things. Great live band. They were so good. But yeah, Bad Breeding. Show the record you listened to before going to the punk gig. That could be anything, but can never fail with D.R.I's dealing with it. I mean, I'll listen to this before going to anything. Super fast, auctioneer vocals. I love the production on it. I love the flangey sound they get out of it. And it is my favorite D.R.I stuff. Texas, goes to California, makes great records until they go metal, and then I didn't enjoy them quite as much. And finally, question 20. Show the punk record you were listening to drunk at home. I don't really drink that much. But when I am drunk at home, I'll listen to G.G. Allin and the Jabbers, 1980s rock and roll. Because, I may want to get drunk and throw shit at people. Who knows? Actually, this is before he started doing that stuff, but whatever. Can't be the Jabbers. Super catchy. Love all their shit. Favorite G.G. Allin, period. It's before he went full-on crazy. So, yeah. That's it. So, thanks for putting this together, Tommy. That's, there it is. See ya.